how did the group of one come about? And what's it all about?
Oh, the group of one. Okay. The Well, in 2006, I've had a very intense spiritual journey, but which in 2006, on my spiritual journey, I became what they call awakened. But at the same time, a month later, I discovered I have Asperger's syndrome. And that for me was the best news I've had ever. I remember when I first found out, I was like, yippee! I went around telling everybody, I've got Asperger's syndrome. They're like, what? What? Shh, shh. You're telling me to shut up. I was so happy. I was so happy because it just like, all the pennies dropped, everything just dropped. All the pennies just dropped about, about me and who I am and why I think the way I do and why I used to just, why sometimes I used to get frustrated in the company of others, just because I hear and I think literal. I love it when people are direct with me, and so often people won't speak directly to other people. And they sort of leave you guessing. I don't do mind games. I either know or I don't. And, if I don't know, I don't know. So I just carry on doing what I'm doing. For me, it's too stressful trying to work out what somebody means or does, or, no. Just, my head can't go there. So, when I had, and I was being totally quite funny, I did actually then stop telling people, because people started to get stressed out when I was telling them about that habit. I had quite a lot of, I remember a couple of people that were doctors actually turned around and told me I didn't have it. Which I thought was quite funny. And I thought, okay, fine. This is the thing with a lot of people that do have Asperger's syndrome. They, although it's on the autistic spectrum, we look normal, whatever normal is. But, but that was fantastic. So, but also what happened at that time, because all this stuff was going on for me in this 1 month, I had like, the way I described it, I started off with a blog. A friend of mine set me up with a blog just so I could learn to write and express my innermost thoughts on this blog. Because obviously I couldn't read and write. I couldn't speak very well, but when this experience happened to me, I started speaking uncontrollably, totally uncontrollably for about 8 months. I couldn't shut up. It was like all the words I'd ever heard since I was born all came flooding out of me. There was like a trigger in my brain. I don't know. Doesn't but it just all came out, and I couldn't stop talking. Tony, my partner, he was a blessing around that time. We talk about that occasionally. He thinks back. He says, back then I was, I was a nightmare to be around. I just, I can imagine. I lost a lot of clients at work because my boss knew what was going on, what I was going through. And so when I did go in, in order to heal myself, I had to allow the words to come out. And it was like, Um, and so I just did, and I kept talking about all these scientific theories that I've been coming up with to all my clients, and you know, my clients couldn't cope with it because I was so intense, so incredibly intense with what came out, very deep and intense stuff, which was just coming out because it'd been there all that time, you know, and so with the group of one, sorry, go off on a tangent. With the group of one, that basically, I wanted, back then, I thought, right, I've got all this information, I've got all this love to give, I love people without condition, you know, I am here clearly for a purpose, I have a purpose. And so, and I also wanted to create a space for like-minded people, people that perhaps wanted another perspective, which may just help them see things in a different way, and then they could take that off or whatever, and then, you know, play with it or throw it in the bin, do what like, that's fine, doesn't matter to me. I just, you know, all my truth is written on the group of one, and most of it, I mean, is via video because of my reading and writing difficulties. A lot of I watched a lot of videos because I found that, well, because I know that every person is a reflection of who I am, they are also who I am not. And what I mean by that is everybody is who I am, speaking their truth, being who they truly are, being their authentic selves, yet they are expressing that part of me which I am not. So, for example, with I'm going to have to talk about Tony, my partner. He is totally my polarity, my complete opposite in so many ways. He is a natural born leader and incredibly, you know, he can physically go and meet people, he can pose himself, he can just do that. And also another thing that he can do that I'm not able to do is he can reiterate, which I find that an amazing quality for anyone who can reiterate. Because I don't have that ability. I can remember things from the past, but when it comes to actually, I mean, for example, if I was being asked what happened on June the 12th at 7 o'clock, 2010, you know, I can't remember what I did yesterday, you know, but with Tony, for example, he'd probably need about 5 minutes just to go back, and then he'd say, well, actually, da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da, and he's got this amazing memory capacity, it's amazing. And so I say to him, he is me expressed. Because he speaks his truth, he's incredibly generous, he's incredibly honest, and he loves me unconditionally. So that's what I find in people when I meet people. They are who I am not, and it's the qualities that the other person has that I don't have. that I find absolutely fascinating. I just love, you know, I love that side of people. I just love people, you know. So, yeah.
And that started developing then into something more than just your own blog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did it come together then?
So it started off with just the blog, which I used for about a year or so, and then I set up a Yahoo meetup group because it was in 2006. I read chapter 1 of a book by Neil Donald Walsh, and I thought, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. I agree with him. He can stay in my life. So, oh, might listen to this. Oh, no. But so I set up a CWG group on Meetup Yahoo. I had quite a few people turn up. So again, for me, it's about creating a space. I was, at this point, I was computer illiterate. I could send an email and that was about it. So I had another very good friend of mine who's sort of in IT, and he taught me every step of the way how to sort of create sort of this meetup group, which was an online group. So I sort of practiced with that quite a bit. And then it was at a CWG reunion where I met up with a few others who are now members of the Group of One. Well, they're the other co-founders. We met up at a Conversation with God reunion group, and so a weekend it was. And then we discussed that we would like to build an online community for sort of like-minded people to come together as one, you know, just sharing different perspectives and just sort of build it and then just see how it grows, really. There is sort of, you know, just take each day as it comes and just build it. So we came up with that idea. We came up with the name Group of One. Group meaning we, all of us, family, you know, of one. You know, we are all one, yet there is only one of us, which, you know, that goes back to my theory that there is only one of us. That, you know, each one of us creates our own reality. And so basically everything outside of myself is just an illusion, that I created everything to be here in order for me to experience it. And you know, and so therefore that's what the Group One's for. It's for people that just want to, you know, just get together and just sort of be and help raise awareness in each other. And you know, if just raising awareness in each other is going to obviously create that ripple effect. If, you know, somebody could help raise my awareness to something perhaps I may not know or may not be aware of myself, then that will have an effect on me, which will then have an effect on, you know, my friends and my family will then have the effect on their family, you know, the ripple effect. And so, you know, it's just, yeah, that's sort of why it's been set up, really. I also like to call it the 0 point, the hub. It's like the eye of the hurricane. Tornado, sorry. It's a space where people can just be. You know, they can offload if they're feeling angry or they just want to offload something. I've posted quite a few things on there where I've just offloaded. But, you know, it's within, as I've written the last word and I pressed, you know, save, I let it go and get on with my day.